Hi, it's 𝗀𝗂𝘁𝘂𝘁 with Bold Women Lawyers. I know you're normally used to seeing me interviewing guests, but today I'm here for a very special reason. I'm here to give you a message. I the complaint, the lament, the problem that I hear from many of my lawyer clients, as well as the lawyers I know in general who are in solo and small firms, is this: I'm a good lawyer. I'm a great lawyer. I get great results for clients. Why am I struggling so badly to run my law firm, to run the business ends of things? Now, this is not an unusual complaint. And you have to understand, which I'm sure you do when you think about it, practicing law and running a law firm are very different activities. You need a different knowledge base and you need a different set of skills. And so I came on today actually because my business coach gave me a challenge. And the challenge was this: send out a message today that your community needs to hear. So that's what I'm doing. And my message to you is first of all, it is normal to struggle at times with the business end of running a law firm. You went to law school and you learned all about the law. You learned not the actual practice of law, as we all know. That's what you learned once you got out and started working as a lawyer. But you learned the basics. You learned how to research. You learned how to understand statutes and contracts and documents. You learned about discovery. You learned all of that stuff, okay? And that was great. And that's what law school is intended for. I do hear people complain that, well, but I was never prepared to run a law business. Well, I'm going to tell you, I think that even if your law school had tried to prepare you for that, you were so busy worrying about learning the law and learning how to understand the law and apply the law, and worrying about getting a job, worrying about passing the bar, all of those things, that you probably wouldn't have paid that much attention, even if they did try to teach you how to run a law business. And I think that's okay, because you first have to feel very confident in your skills as a lawyer. Then you can work on developing your business skills. Now, unless you ran a business before you became a lawyer, and I know there's some people out there that did that, you don't innately have those business skills, and you probably don't have them yet if you're early in your solo or small firm law practice. But here's the good news: you can learn it. It's not impossible to learn how to run a business. I did it, and you can do it too. So how do you do that? You don't have to struggle forever. I think the worst thing that happens to lawyers in solo and small firms is that they recognize that the business part of things is really a struggle, but they don't do anything to help themselves, and why not? Now, look, I'm not a psychologist, but I just know from my own experience and the experience of the people I know that some of it has to do with who we are. We are hard workers. We are super achievers. We like to take control, and we like to think we can do it all or learn it all on our own. We can figure it out because that's what lawyers do. And that's true up to a point. But the problem with trying to figure it all out on the business side is that you've got a lot of client work to do. And you're so busy doing that, you may not have the time, certainly, to learn it all on your own. But there's ways you can work on developing those skills. So, there's plenty of material, plenty of books, plenty of courses out there about running a small business. There's bar association courses. You can look into that. You can and should outsource those things that are not in your area of strength and that really need to be done properly from the very beginning. And I'm talking about things like financial management, taxes, okay? Unless you're an accountant, and I know a lot of accountants / lawyers, and if you're an accountant or an accountant type and you have skills in that area, you may well be able to handle that on your own. I can tell you, I knew for myself, I did not want to handle that on my own from the very beginning, because I recognized that if I didn't have the help to set things up right from the beginning, come tax time, it was going to be a disaster. And so I did outsource right from the very beginning. And I encourage you to do the same thing for those things that are critical on the business end that you need to get right from day one to avoid serious problems down the road. But other things that you may look to outsource are, for example, social media. I'm no expert in it. And I learned pretty quickly that while I could create the content, because I knew the legal side and I could, figure out how to say things in a way that an average layperson would understand, because that was my ideal client. I had no idea, how do you post this stuff? How do you, fancy it up? How do you make it look good? How do you add all the bells and whistles? But I was able to find a college student because they know how to do all that stuff. And I had her do it and it worked great. My point is, it doesn't have to be expensive, but you have to recognize where your really steep deficits lie. And mine was certainly in, how do I get this social media stuff even posted? The other thing you can do is, of course, get support. Find a group of like-minded lawyers, join a mastermind. You can actually go to my website, boldwomenlawyers.com. I have a success guide there. It's full of tips on mindset and marketing and management for a solo or small law firm. So, go take a look at that. Get some tips there. Or hire a business coach for more personalized training. I said at the beginning, my business coach challenged me to get out today a message, and I've done it. I love that, because working with a business coach, and I've done it for a long time, and I've had different coaches and mentors, but working with a business coach was one way that I could bounce off ideas and, help keep myself focused and on the right path. Because like many of us, I had a ton of different ideas, all going in very different directions. But with help, I was able to keep it narrow, keep it focused, so that I could build a very successful solo practice when I was in active law practice, and to help me build my current business as a business strategist and a business coach. So getting help is not a sign of weakness. A lot of times lawyers, we tend to think that way. Like, I don't need help. I can do it on my own. And it shows that I'm weak if I ask for help. That's not true at all. It actually shows that you're smart, because you recognize where your strengths are and where your strengths are not. And you recognize, to get where you want to go, you need to get expert help. And so you go out and get it. So that was the message I wanted to give to you today. If you're struggling with the running of your business, don't beat yourself up about it. It is normal, but you can get help. You should get help. And if you want to meet your goals, you need to get that help. So I hope you found this helpful. And I look forward to talking to you again soon.